All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Before I get into this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Help make the Strength Classroom grow so the Strength Classroom can help you grow. So, are you running conjugate? Are you trying to build your deadlift with variations? Here are my top 5 deadlift variations that have helped build my deadlift and might help build your deadlift as well. Now, before I get into this, I should say the deadlift I am trying to bring up the most, so if I were to go into a powerlifting competition, what I consider to be my deadlift is the conventional deadlift. I am also trying to build up the sumo deadlift. I don't want a super weak sumo deadlift. I care about my conventional deadlift more, but you should still practice and train both. Now, variation number 1, deficit deadlifts with chains. Deficit deadlifts by itself are a great lift, but I specifically like it with chains. I find it builds power off the floor because you're pulling from a deficit, longer range of motion, and the chains adds more weight at the top. So it's almost like you're doing a deficit deadlift and a rack pull at the same time. You're working on the bottom end strength, but you're also getting the top end strength as well. This is a money lift that needs to be in everyone's program, needs to be a main deadlift builder. All right, variation number 2, the snatch grip deadlift. Now, the reason I like the snatch grip deadlift, it's like a deficit deadlift where the range of motion is increased. However, it increases the stress on the upper back musculature a lot. So if you're finding yourself rounding over in the deadlift, throwing in some snatch grip deadlifts, both for rep work and for max effort work or heavy work, can be a great idea. It also helps build tremendous leg drive off the floor. And as a bonus, if you really want to challenge your grip, try doing them without straps. You will have to use less weight, but your grip strength will improve immensely. Variation number 3, sumo deadlifts with bands. Now, the reason I like bands here as opposed to chains is the bands are trying to pull you downwards, and that forces you to keep outward pressure on the outsides of your feet so that you can work your outer thigh and your glutes, but you can't let up on that pressure. A lot of people, once they get past the sticky point, they just coast through. Where the bands, have to be firing at 100%, and I feel like a lot of people are weak in the hips. So to make your lower body have to go 100% against bands is a very, very good tool for bringing up your deadlift strength. And as a bonus, it will bring up your squatting strength as well because it will work on that area that a lot of people are weak in. All right, variation number 4, rack pulls below the knee. Honestly, I've done rack pulls before. A lot of people think rack pulls have to be set at knee level or above the knee level, but I don't think this is true at all. You can do a rack pull from anywhere. You can do a rack pull 1 inch off the floor if your rack allows. So I like doing them mid-shin. I find this builds tremendous strength, and it's also different than pulling from the floor because the pins are in direct contact with the bar as opposed to the plates being in direct contact with the floor. So you don't get to pull the slack out of the bar, which hits the deadlift muscles a lot more than pulling just straight off the floor. Actually, I shouldn't say a lot more. It's just a different stimulus to have in your rotation. Pin pulls or rack pulls, specifically at mid-shin, are a great lift to build your deadlift. And last but not least, Romanian deadlifts, straight weight or with bands or chains. I recommend all 3. Now, if you're doing some sort of deload or down week and you have to do a max effort deadlift workout, a great way to kind of tone down the top end strength is to do Romanian deadlifts for maybe a set of 8. And what I like about this is there's constant tension. So if you're really trying to bring up the musculature, the muscle size in your lower body and posterior chain, Romanian deadlifts are a great way to do that because there's more time under tension and they're less stressful because you're using less weight. Now, I like using bands on this if you're going to go lighter to get just some really snappy hip motions, but I also like chains as well because it overloads at the top. So it all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Basically, Romanian deadlifts, do them any way, you can't go wrong. So overall, those are 5 great deadlift variations that will definitely bring up your posterior chain and all your lower body pulling muscles, as well as building a huge deadlift. So use any one of these 5, throw them into your max effort rotation for deadlifts, and I'm sure you will be pulling a PR in the near future. So if you like this video, do all that good stuff, like, share, subscribe, do it all, help make the Strength Classroom grow, and the Strength Classroom will help you grow. As always, class is dismissed.